Slope-intercept is a very useful form of the equation of a line. Keep watching and I'll show you how to find it. Welcome to Math Bytes, I'm Allison, and today we're talking about slope-intercept form of the equation of a line. A common way to express the equation of a line is in slope-intercept form. It looks like this: y equals mx plus b. Now, it's called slope-intercept form because we can tell both the slope and the y-intercept just by looking at the equation. M is our slope, and b is where the line crosses or intercepts the y-axis. Let's look at an example. We have y equals negative 2x plus 1. Our slope m is negative 2, and b is equal to 1. Now, that will be the y-coordinate of the y-intercept. Notice what happens when I put 0 in for x. That's where our line crosses the y-axis. We would get y equals negative 2 times 0 plus 1, or y equals 1. So our y-intercept is the point 0, 1. Now, let's just look at one thing here. Let's look at y equals 3/4 x minus 7. Now, you need to be a little bit careful here when you're identifying m and b. Note the general form of the equation is y equals mx plus b. So let's rewrite this as y equals 3/4 x plus negative 7. M is 3/4, b is negative 7. So our y-intercept is the point 0, negative 7. So just be a little bit careful with your signs there and remember what the general form of the equation looks like. Let's do an example. Let's find the equation of the line with the slope negative 4 that contains the point 2, 5. Okay, we know our slope is negative 4, so right away we can just write that m equals negative 4, and that gives us y equals negative 4x plus b. Now, to find out what b is, I'm going to plug in the x and y coordinates of my point into the equation and solve for b. So I'm going to plug 2 in for x and 5 in for y and solve for b. So I get 5 equals negative 4 times 2 plus b. That gives me that 5 equals negative 8 plus b. I'm going to add 8 to both sides, so I get 5 plus 8 equals negative 8 plus b, which leaves me with b equals 13. So the equation of the line is y equals negative 4x plus 13. Let's do another example. Let's find the equation of the line in slope-intercept form that contains the points 1, negative 3, and 4, 6. Okay, we have an extra step here. We need to find the slope first before we do anything else. So the slope m is equal to the difference in the y-coordinates over the difference in the x-coordinates. So that gives me 6 minus negative 3 over 4 minus 1. That is the same as saying 6 plus 3 over 4 minus 1. 6 plus 3 is 9, 4 minus 1 is 3, so I get 9 over 3, which is equal to 3. So my equation up to this point is y equals 3x plus b. Okay, so I'm going to now substitute in 1 and negative 3 for x and y and solve for b. So I get negative 3 equals 3 times 1 plus b. That gives me negative 3 equals 3 plus b. Subtracting 3 from both sides, I get negative 3 minus 3 equals 3 minus 3 plus b. Negative 3 minus 3 is negative 6, so I get that b is equal to negative 6. So the equation of my line is y equals 3x plus negative 6, or y equals 3x minus 6. Now, it doesn't matter which of those 2 points I started with that I plug in to find b. You could easily plug in 4, 6 instead of 1, negative 3, and you would get the same value for b. So try that. Plug 4 and 6 in and solve for b, and make sure you get the same answer I did. What happens when you get a slope of 0? Let's take a look at an example of that. Find the equation of the line that contains the points negative 1, 3, and 2, 3. Okay, so let's find the slope. That's difference in y coordinates over difference in x coordinates. So we get 3 minus 3 over 2 minus negative 1. That leaves us with 0 over 3, which is equal to 0. So m is equal to 0. Let's plug that into our equation. We get y equals 0 times x plus b. That just leaves us with y equals b. So what does that mean? Okay, let's graph this and see what we get. Okay, so here I have graphed our 2 points, negative 1, 3, and 2, 3, and I have joined them with a line. It's a horizontal line, and it's set at y equals 3. The x values will change, but y is always sitting there at 3. It crosses the y-axis at the point 0, 3. So the equation of this line is y equals 3. Anytime you get a slope of 0, that gives you a horizontal line. And the equation of that line will be y equals your y-coordinate value. Just one more point to keep in mind. If you're doing a problem that asks you to find the equation of a line in slope-intercept form, your answer should be an equation. I know that might sound obvious, but it's very easy when you do these problems to get all wrapped up in finding what m is and what b is and presenting those as the answer. You have to take that m value and b value and substitute it into the standard form of the equation so that your answer to the problem is the equation of a line. That's it for this episode of Math Bytes. If you like our videos, please subscribe to our channel. And if there's something you'd like to ask us, just send us an email. We're at contactmathbytes@gmail.com, and I'll see you next time.